All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Viking Vault Cooking Show. This is a special Black Heritage Month edition coming at you from the LBCC Viking Lounge here with our very own Derek Oriee. I'll let him introduce himself in a minute. My name is Justin Mendez. I'm the manager of our Basic Needs program. Our Basic Needs program provides support for students regarding food, housing, and transportation services. So if you need any food, housing, or transportation, please contact us. We have resources for you. You can email us at basicneeds@lbcc.edu. And for today's Viking Vault Cooking Show, we're going to be learning from Derek how to make collard greens. So all of the students who attended our grab and go today here at the LAC campus, they received the recipe, the ingredients in their Viking Vault grab and go bag. We included the collard greens, the salt and pepper, some butter. We didn't have meat for everybody, so there's a couple of items that you're gonna have to get on your own. But we have pretty much everything right here. So Derek also helped pre-make some collard greens for us so we can already see what the finished product looks like. And he's going to walk us through how to go step by step into making sure your own collard greens are just as delicious as his and his mama's. So without further ado, Derek Oriee.
Can we please ask everyone to mute themselves?
Oh yes, please mute folks. All right, good to go.
All right, welcome everyone. I'm going to take this off because my glasses are fogging up and I won't be able to see. I got to look down at everything. My name is Derek Oriee. I'm a student activities advisor here at Long Beach City College. And I'm here to share my mom's recipe of collard greens with some little bit of augmentations, but it's pretty close to my mom's and it's what I make at home personally. So what you'll need is 1 or 2 large bunch of collard greens. You'll need a tablespoon of butter, 1 cup of salt, a 1/2 cup of black pepper. That's the stuff that came with the grab and go today. What you didn't receive in your bag, students that came to the grab and go, you did not receive garlic powder. We'll need a 1/4 cup of that. Tablespoon of seasoned salt, tablespoon of red hot pepper, and 1/2 pound of smoked meat. And that smoked meat could be ham hocks, smoked turkey wings, or smoked neck bones. So from there, we're going to start off. We're going to start off with you need 3 quarts of water. So with that 3 quarts, you'll throw that into your pot here. This is a 5-quart pot with 3 quarts of water in it. I think I'm a little long here. I'm going to add a little bit more just in case. It's just starting to boil. We're just going to get that prepared. So while that is still heating up, what you're going to need, you're going to have to go to your collard greens. Highly suggested, clean your collard greens before you cook them. Put them under the sink. I already pre-clean these. Run them under the water, clean them. There will be dirt and stuff on it, and so make sure you clean it. What you're going to do from there, you're going to break them down. There's 2 ways of doing it. Traditional way, you're going to grab them. You're going to pull the stem away. This is time consuming to me, so I'm lazy. So I won't do it this way for rest. At home, I don't do it this way. I grab the leaves and stem, lay it on the cutting board. Grab my trusty carving knife and just a little bit faster. You get a little bit more waste, but it saves a lot of time. So this is what we'll be doing for the first 15 minutes of preparing. You just gotta carve away all your stem. You just don't worry about the the veins here, sometimes these are a little bit thick, that's fine. You just want the stem out. That's the thick part, that's hard to cook. And
Which one is it? What name is it? Oh, okay.
I'm gonna continue on cutting these up. I'm gonna fast track this a little bit because in the interest of time, I usually don't do it this fast, but I'm going to move a little bit faster.
And if you're looking at Linda's, you can see the zoom in, the close picture of what to be cutting. But the main point is to not cut the stem, right? You don't want to be cooking.
You want
the
to cut
stem.
away the stem. You don't want the stem and your collard greens. So there's other greens you could use. One of my mom's favorite things to do is to use mustard greens. I mix up collards and mustard greens. I've seen her use turnip greens in it also. Sometimes she adds okra to it. I'm not an okra fan, and usually when she made it with okra, she would make her own pot for herself and the rest of our family that didn't enjoy the okra flavor or texture. We got our own pot without the okra. Or we just had to dig them out on our own. My mom's from Montgomery, Alabama. My dad's from Charleston, South Carolina. So my family's deeply rooted into the South. So you may see different ways of making collard greens. My sister, she likes to get really fancy with it, and she has like diced tomatoes and other diced vegetables in hers. I'm a picky eater. I like it basic. I just like my collard greens. I'm okay with mustard greens and stuff like that too. But like I said, we're deeply rooted into the South. Just to get a little bit into Black History Month, my last name Oriee is a very, very popular name in the Carolinas. That's because the Oriee plantation was one of the biggest plantations in South Carolina. So there's also Oriee County there up in the northern coast. Now I just found out over the week, well, about 2 weeks ago. Well, I've always known this. The first Black NHL hockey player, his name was Willie Oriee. My last name is O-R-I-E-E. He spells it O''R-E-E. But all my cousins back in Carolina spell it O-R-E-E. I found out later that my dad added the I to our name, and a couple of his brothers and sisters did also. So as I watched this documentary on Willie Oriee, he went into his genealogy. All he knew was there was a Paris Oriee that went up into Canada, New Brunswick, Canada. They weren't really sure, what part of the South he came from. So they went into the genealogy. They went into the Book of Slaves, and turns out Paris Oriee was a descendant of the Oriees of Charleston, South Carolina, where my dad's from. During the Civil War, the British came down into Charleston, freed a bunch of slaves, took them back up to Canada, and that's how he ended up in Canada. So there's a chance I could be related to him. If I'm not related to him, it's very, very likely we came from the same plantation. So that was cool to watch. If you want to watch the documentary, it's on Amazon Prime. It's called Willie. So what you're going to do next, after you cut away your stems, you're going to roll up, grab like 3 or 4 leaves, and you're going to roll it up and cut your leaves. I usually go about 1/4 to 1/2 inch and just cut them up into slivers. I don't know. I don't have a technical word for it. So I'm just going to grab them. And I try to be as even as possible. Roll it up into a ball and cut into slivers. If you ever want to go with a shortcut, you can buy collard greens frozen in your frozen section. I don't like them. I prefer them fresh. And I like my collard greens really leafy, rather than the kind of the shredded version that you buy in the store in the frozen section. You can also buy them. I've seen them bagged before, but I always grab the fresh collard greens, and that's what not fresh and easy. What's the Rouse off-street store? I can't even think right now. Not fresh and easy. They used to have good collard greens too. They're using them also.
Food for less?
Food for less, yes.
There it is.
They always have really good prices on collard greens. You got to go at the right time though, because sometimes they're not as fresh as they could be. So as you can see, I'm not going to cut all this because it's way more than what we need. But so once you get them cut down, your water is boiling. Today we grabbed smoked turkey wings. So you grab your smoked wings, and theoretically, you're supposed to let these boil for an hour. So you throw them into your pot. Then you're gonna add your seasoning. So like I said, your seasoning consists of a full cup of salt. You're gonna take a quarter cup of pepper and a quarter cup of garlic powder. And this will make your seasoning. So you take this seasoning here, believe it or not, you're only gonna put a tablespoon in it. So after you make all of this, it's only a tablespoon. So I'm going to guesstimate this because I don't have my tablespoons with me.
So on our recipe card, it says a cup salt, but what Derek just clarified is you don't want to put a cup of salt into your
do not
bowl of collard greens, right? You make the house seasoning and then a tablespoon of the seasoning.
Someone's made that mistake before. So you're not pouring this whole thing in, you're only doing a tablespoon. So I'm going to guesstimate this. I have my tablespoons, but I left them in the other room.
So Derek, why do you have to make that whole seasoning then if you're only going to use that small portion?
Honestly, if you're a pro, you can probably guesstimate it on your own without making the whole seasoning.
Oh, okay.
It's just like if you're gonna buy seasoned salt, whatever, it's already pre-made for you.
Okay, just to have it for the next batch, right?
What's that?
That's so you have it ready for the next batch that you're going to make.
Exactly. So I've been using this bag for about a year now. So you're only going to use a tablespoon. So right now, like I said, I'm going to guesstimate it because I'm allowed to, because this isn't the one we're going to eat. That's about a tablespoon.
Expert.
And then you're going to take a tablespoon of Tabasco sauce. So we're going to guesstimate this. Last night it was about 5 shakes or so or 6 or 7 or 8. I like mine spicy. So that's about a tablespoon there. Then you're going to add seasoned salt. So if you want to use Lawry's seasoned salt or whatever type of seasoned salt is your favorite. I'm a Lawry's person. I put it on everything, like their commercial. I'm not going to say it. But
we're not sponsored. Yeah,
we're not sponsored. But I use Lawry's on everything, so I like it on my veggies and stuff like that, just to add some flavor. When I make fried chicken, that's part of the spices I use. Along with my fried pork chops and stuff. My batter is literally the same batter I use for my pork chops and my fried chicken. So Lawry's is the best to me. So you can let this boil. You're gonna cover it up, let it boil for an hour. You're gonna lose a little bit of water. So once it's done boiling after an hour, you're gonna add a little bit more, just to top it off so the turkey's covered up. It's not exposed in. Like I said, we are fast forwarding this. So once that is done, and if you want to show what I'm going to do next, you're going to grab your collard greens and add it to the pot. And you want to fill it up. Yes. Thank you. So now your collard greens right now, they're like a little bit brighter green. Once it's in the pot, once they're cooked, it's a dark green. So you can tell the difference once they're cooked. They turn to like a deep dark green, and they become much more tender than what they are now. They shouldn't be mushy. They should just be tender. That was a full leaf I threw in there, but that's okay. It just adds a mouthful. So now, this is going to boil for another 45 minutes to an hour. You may want to test it at that point, but all your seasoning is in here. So really, the total prep time, total cook time, you're looking at about 2 hours of cook time. So once that starts, you're gonna bring that to a boil. Once it gets to a boil, you don't want it simmering, but you kind of want it rolling. Not a full rumbling boil, but you want it to roll over and just let it cook. And you're looking at another hour from this point. Once you're done with this, you'll have your final product. So let me move this out of the way. Grab this. Oh, what I didn't add. I'm sorry, my bad. You need a tablespoon of butter. So our students today, you got these little packages here. It'll take basically 4 of these packages, 1 or 3.5 of these packages to make a tablespoon. And you want to add that to your broth also. And you want to do this when you add your collard greens, not when you're just boiling the turkey wing. So we're going to add this also. Yeah. So I'll do a half on this one. So like I said, you're going to add the butter when you add the collard greens. And just let it melt in. So once we're done here, these were, like I said, these were pre-made. And what did I do with my spoon? What's this one? I'll stick this out there. So in this version, I used a turkey leg and not the wing. But we're using wings in this one. And what you want to do at this point, once it's done, the meat should be pretty much falling off the bone. So if you look here, no meat on the bone because I already shredded it up. And inside the bowl here, you can see I shredded up the turkey already. Shred it up. Then if you're vegetarian, you don't have to eat the meat. This isn't vegan, but it could be vegetarian. So you can move it to the side. Sometimes I don't want to tear up the turkey meat. I just want the collard greens, and I eat it both ways. It just depends on my mood. So as you can see it's kind of buttery here. You can see the sauce. What we're gonna do is serve Justin a bowl so he can try it out. And see if I get a seal of his approval. I know Justin's a vegetarian, so I'm gonna try to work around the meat.
I was actually. I recently started eating meat again.
Oh, you're back? Okay, well, yeah. I'm serving you out then.
And then there's cornbread right here too. That you just make fresh.
So one of the favorite sides to eat with collard greens is cornbread. So most. Go ahead, grab one, just throw it on top. So most nowadays will eat their collard greens. Not even in a bowl. You'll eat it, with part of your meal. So if you're having chicken or whatever, you have collard greens, mac and cheese, black eyed peas are some of the favorite sides with it. My grandma, was from the deep south. So I want to show you the way my grandma ate. And if your country, you'll
I just took my first bite. Oh man, it's screaming.
So if your country, you take it, you crumble it up, you crumble up your cornbread, and you eat it with your fingers.
All right.
That's the only way I ever saw my grandma eat it. My mom wasn't that way. My mom still uses it for my grandma. Fingers. You eat your greens with your fingers.
Definitely approved. Jay Mendez, stamp.
It's really not that hard to make. It's just the real time consuming time is your cook time. The hour of boiling and creating your broth with your smoked meat, then the hour of actually cooking your greens in it. So sometimes I'll take the time and physically pull the greens apart when I'm pulling the stems. But lately, I just been cutting it because it's just too much time. But it's the best way to go. Thank you. So,
Eric, have you ever experimented with the Instapot or like one of those pressure cookers?
I've never done it before. So I've never seen anyone do that before. Doesn't mean it can't be done, but I've never seen it.
Today we got the authentic.
But we did transfer it from, when I made it this morning, I did transfer it from the regular pot to a crock pot so we can keep it warm and show you today.
Linda, are there any more questions in the chat?
No,
I just wanted to say, Derek, you took me back when you demonstrated how your grandma used to eat her greens, because my grandma did the same thing.
Yeah.
Sopped it up. You use that cornbread to sop up them juices. Yes, you took me back.
So this is gonna cook. I'm probably gonna take it home and cook it completely. Then I'm gonna have 2 pots of greens.
And then I'll be waiting for that second coming back.
I'll deliver it to Basic Needs tomorrow.
Awesome. And I have to send a huge, extreme notion of gratification for Derek for not only teaching us this collard greens, this delicious recipe, but Derek is one of our biggest supporters of the Basic Needs program. He's over here helping pack 300 grocery bags every other Monday, and he's out there on the front line with us every other Tuesday, actually helping distribute these groceries to all of our students. So if you want to come and see Derek yourself, meet him, come on by through the grab and go and say hello and thank you for this collard green recipe. Derek, I know you do a lot of great things also over here at LBCC. What's your primary role?
So like I said, my title is Student Activities Advisor. And, what I do, I oversee our intramural recreational sports program, which includes our Viking Vault Club. If you're someone that gets a lot, goes out and exercise, you're out on your bike, you're a runner, walker, with any of those, jump on Strava. It's a free app. We have a group on there, Viking Vault Club. It's a point system, an honor system, point system. We give away T-shirts and all kinds of different things when you hit your goals. We have a 100-point goal, 200-point goal, 300, and a 500. But if anything, it's something just to keep you motivated, keep you out and keep you exercising. I also oversee our Viking volunteer program. And did I hear someone ask a question?
Dog.
Oh, dog. I also am the advisor to the John Football Leadership Institute and the advisor to our Viking activities.
So right here, you just had a lot of other opportunities for y'all to get involved with us here at LBCC. So hit up the man, Derek. This guy is amazing. If you didn't catch our other Black Heritage event when he was a moderator and a panelist, then definitely go onto our website to not only see the past events, but also the future events that are coming up, because Black Heritage Month is not over yet. We still have more events. You can check that out at lbcc.edu/Black Heritage, okay, to see our flyers and all of the events that are coming up. still this week and next. So don't miss out on all these opportunities. Thank you all for tuning in here. Thank you to Derek.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you to Linda also for being the primary person behind the scenes and helping with all of our Black Heritage Month. To our Black Heritage Month committee, okay, to our dean, Dr. Kirkwood, to the basic team. Thanks all the way around. We'll see you on our next Viking Vault Cooking Show. Peace.
Thank you for coming out.